Welcome to another fun-filled edition of Comet Algebra. This video is for Algebra 1, Chapter 2, Section 4, Solving One-Step Equations. Okay, we'll start with a couple definitions here. An equation is a mathematical sentence stating that two expressions are equal. Simply stated, an equation has an equal sign. An expression does not. And you do need to know the difference between those two terms. Inverse operation, when we do the undoing method, we use inverses, the operation that will reverse or undo a given operation. The opposite of adding is subtracting, and vice versa. The opposite of subtract is add. The opposite of multiplying is dividing, and vice versa. The opposite of dividing is multiplying. Now, as you learn more algebra, we're going to add more things to your undoing method. Like I think you learned that the opposite of squaring is square rooting, so that's part of the undoing. But we're going to start today with adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. The other key here is that you absolutely must do the same thing to both sides of an equation. Otherwise, you have destroyed your equal sign and it's no longer in balance. So this is an absolute have to. And you also do need to show your work. What I mean by that, in example 1, you can put your pencil on the letter A and ask yourself what's being done to the letter A. Right now we are subtracting a 4. So the work I want you to show is that you're doing the opposite of that and you are adding a 4 to both sides. This minus 4 plus 4 is 0, which is what we wanted. We wanted A alone, and then we do the math over here, and A is 11. So please do show the steps you're doing to both sides. In example 2, again, put your pencil on the letter. Ask yourself what is being done to the letter. We are adding a 2. The opposite of that is to subtract a 2, and we do that to both sides. 2 minus 2 is 0. I have the A alone. That's what I wanted. 8 minus 2 is 6, so the answer is A equals 6. Example 3, again, put your pencil on the letter. Ask yourself what is being done to the letter. We are multiplying this y by 7. The opposite of multiplying by 7 is dividing by 7. So here we have to divide both sides by 7. And we get y is equal to 14. All right, the next example. We have y divided by 8 equals 20. Again, ask yourself, what's the opposite of dividing by 8? And the answer is multiplying by 8. Now, if it helps you, go ahead and put the 8 over 1 so that we keep it straight that when you're multiplying by 8, it is in the numerator. So if you multiply that side by 8, you must also multiply this side by 8. And here, 8 divided by 8 is 1, or we can think of canceling. Canceling is dividing. And y is equal to 160. And of course, they're going to put some fractions into this assignment, so we got to be ready to work with those. We are adding a 2/3, and the opposite of that would be subtracting a 2/3 from both sides. So looking over here, we have 12 as this denominator, and this one could be changed to a fraction over 12 if we multiply. So we want to multiply, we check 3 times what is 12. If we're multiplying the bottom by 4, you must also multiply the numerator by 4. And -2 times +4 is -8. I'm just going to rewrite this over here so I can kind of see it more clearly. -7/12 and -8/12 is -15/12. So x equals -15/12. Now, you may leave this improper. In fact, you need to, because in algebra, that's how we work with fractions. But this does have to be in lowest terms. So you got to reduce 15/12. They both divide by 3. So I'd have a negative 5/4. All right, I believe you have all the knowledge you need to do section 2.4. So have fun with that.